Court pleases, Your Worship. Bishop, I think the state missed the boat altogether. They misunderstood us. We don't request our client to be transported to court for consultation. No. It is the right of the client to appear in court in terms of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa under the fair trial. Fair trial, amongst others, includes the accused being at court, being able to easily consult with the legal representation and so on. We have been to Kgosimampuru more often than not. We have consulted with the client. We don't need state to bring our client here for consultation. That's not what we are saying. The issue that we'll be bringing to the court as a preliminary issue requires our client to be here, so that should the court, honorable court, ask us any question, we are able to quickly confirm with him and consult with him. And it will make the work of this honorable court very easy. Your Worship, I don't know if you will allow me to give a glimpse of the preliminary issue that we want to raise with the court.
Yes, because I am in darkness.
Court pleases, Your Worship. Let me bring the glimpse. This honorable court will remember when Dr. Nandi Makudumane appeared for the second time. This honorable court instructed Dr. Makudumane to remove the mask and the head so that the court can satisfy itself that the accused before the court, it is indeed the correct person. Your Worship, the preliminary issue that we are going to raise is that by the same token, we request this honorable court also to confirm and satisfy itself that the accused before court is the correct accused. It is against this background that we bring this preliminary issue. The warrant of arrest was issued, J50, for the arrest of Thabo. A gentleman was brought to court and the warrant was cancelled by this honorable court to say this is Thabo Besta's warrant of arrest. We want the court to satisfy itself, Your Worship. Apart from J50, that warrant of arrest, nothing was finished to the court in terms of documentation, confirming that the accused before you is Thabo Besta. Your Worship, there is a purported death certificate of Thabo Besta that will also request it to be confirmed so that the court can satisfy itself. This purported death certificate is dated 3 May 2022, and it has got a stamp that is purported to be the Home Affairs stamp. So if we say there was a Thabo Besta in cell 35 at G4S, and after the fire and someone died, there is a death certificate, purported death certificate. I'm saying purported until such time that it has been confirmed, if this is true, by Home Affairs. And at a later stage, there is a warrant J50 issued for the arrest of Thabo Besta. And someone is brought before you, Your Worship. Remember now, somebody escaped. There is a death certificate of that particular person, the purported death certificate. There is a J50 issued by the honorable court, and all of a sudden there is a gentleman that is brought. Our request is that, can the court satisfy itself that this J50 that I've cancelled, there is a documentation supporting that it is indeed this person that is before me, Thabo Besta. That's the issue that we would like to take with the court as a preliminary issue before we come to the postponement. Can the state at least satisfy the court with any form of documentation that the person before you is Thabo Besta? That's our request, Josh.
Mr. Taylor, this court has got no reason to believe that a wrong person was brought before court. The basis for that is that at first appearance, Mr. Thabo Besta was legally represented, and issue of allegation was never raised at first appearance. So based on that, I've got no reason to believe that a wrong person was brought. Because if a wrong person associated with the name of Thabo Bester was brought before me, that issue should have been canvassed there and there. But it did not happen. So why should a court have reasonable belief that a wrong person was brought forth?
Court, please, Your Worship. Your Worship, this Honorable Court will recall the issue of confirming the identity of Dr. Maguduman was never done on the first instance. It was done when she was appearing for the second time, where the court wanted to satisfy itself that the accused before the court is indeed Dr. Maguduman. But it was never done on the first time. She was wearing her hat and her mask, with due respect also. It was only done on the second time. Same applies to our client. First appearance, it was never entertained. We are saying to this Honorable Court with due respect, can the court satisfy itself, like it satisfied itself with the issue of Dr. Maguduman? And Your Worship, we can't even take the responsibility why the previous legal representative did not take up the matter. Us, as the incoming legal representatives, we have been instructed to address the court on this issue. But if the court is satisfied without having received any form of documentation that confirms that the person before the court is indeed Thabo Bester, then we don't have a problem. We just wanted the court to be satisfied. Because the only thing that is in possession of the court, like previous appearance, Your Worship, it was only the J50 with the name of Thabo Bester, nothing else.
But Mr. Taylor, your comparison as to the lady who appeared before me, for the lack of a better word, it's misplaced. Because the person hid herself. It was as good as that person was not there. That was the reason for the confirmation of her identification. Mr. Bester appeared without having hid himself. So you can't compare the two.
Court, please, Your Worship. Your Worship, we are in the court's hands, but our issue was that can the court satisfy itself that the person before the court is indeed Mr. Thabo Bester? But if the court is satisfied, we are indebted to the court.
Yes, what is your response? The public prosecutor further addressed the court to see when you made an objection through the instructing attorney, you were not off record. And you could not have agreed as to whether visual, or rather audio-visual recording be proceeded with or not. What is your reaction?
Court, that is correct, Your Worship. The courtesy call that the state gave the instructing attorney warranted the response. It was not just a courtesy call to say, I'm calling you to inform you that there will be a visual. The state went to the extent of canvassing the response from the legal team. As much as we are not on record, I agree with the court 100%. However, we had to give the response whether we'll be comfortable with the AVR or not. And the instructing attorney's response was that, no, will not be comfortable. Now that we are on record, Your Worship, that's the first issue that I dealt with. To say the AVR is not working for us, I don't know about other legal practitioners. So moving forward, we'll request our client to be physically present in court. Court, please, discussion.
Yeah, I will.
If I may be allowed.
Yes.
Advocate Taylor is unfortunately dealing with evidence or a piece of evidence which is the subject of the charges against the very same Thabo Bester. Their certificate, which he says is purported to be a death certificate also. It is precisely the reason why we are here today dealing with this kind of cases, because someone is alleged to have died in the fire, which the state is saying it was not. And therefore it is the subject of the charges that are there against it. It has got nothing to do with the court satisfying itself with the identity of Thabo Bester. There's a person there in the accused dock who happens to be Thabo Bester, who is the accused. And I see no reason why, for that purpose, the state needs to transport Mr. Thabo Bester to come and appear here tomorrow. In fact, Advocate Pela has already dealt with that issue, what the issue is about. And I concur and agree with the court that he cannot make comparison with the situation of Ms. Nandipa. It's two different issues altogether. And the issues that they want to raise are issues that should, in my view, be reserved for trial when we deal with the trial. As and when we deal with the trial. As it is.
Thank you. Ruling. As for the application moved by Advocate Pela, I am less persuaded for the lack of merits. Application is dismissed.
As it is, the court receipt on that basis, I request that the matter against Mr. Thabo Bester be postponed to the 20th of June for further police investigation. That he remains in custody, as it is.
Court President, the 20th is suitable for the defense.
Thank you. Mr. Bester, your case is your case is remanded until the 20th day of June 2023. Court number 20A for further investigations.
Will it be virtual?
You will remain in custody until then.
Will I come to court or will honor?
As to whether it will be virtual or you will come to court, that will be canvassed in due course between the state and the defense. Thank you.
As it is, may we then adjourn for now and move to court 28. I will give an indication.